Hey, here's a poem that was gifted while wandering in the glorious beauty of our nature. It's called Time. When the shadows are long, I sit beside our seasoning wood pile, remembering earlier, wandering beneath a pheasant-feathered sky, to stand stone still beneath the oak, its uncurling leaves dappling all beneath its care, imagining centuries, concentric circles, staring into sadness concealed within its knots, and remembering secrets are hidden in all our roots. This language is one that nature speaks and we can learn. In being, I climb that familiar slope, turning wide to stand and stare again, lost to time. And when she returns, she smiles and asks, "What did you do today?"
This poem is called The Way In. The way in isn't what you think. It isn't what you've traced in ink. It isn't any lock you've picked, or doorstop prop, or scaffolding. The way in isn't where they said, or where their stories take your head. But you will know when you are brave enough to give your maps away, and free your ears, and free your eyes. And let your energy arise. And let your hands at last be free to arm your arms by emptying. The way is through the rotten core. Inside the fat, the scar, the pore, inside of everything you flee, lie silent seeds of revelry. And in their midst a voice will speak, and she says simply, "Be with me."
My poem is called Longing for Home. This longing has been my companion, always, before I could name it. An absence, an emptiness, loneliness beyond words. An amputee amongst a sea of the able-bodied, set apart in anguish and terrible aching separation. I was built in a fire of burning shame. The shame of men was thrust into this poor, sweet child's body before I could speak. Over and over and over. Shame and I are old friends. I have learned that I am wholeness, and that cannot be taken from me. It can't be tarnished or damaged or diminished. It is my birthright. It is my truest essence. I have the capacity to bear the shame of those who believed they could not. In my disappearance, The intimacy I have longed for is everywhere. The deep loving caress of a bedsheet, the kiss of a sound reverberating in every cell of my body until I am no more. Indescribable beauty and endless fascination with what is, in the midst of unimaginable silence and stillness. In the morning, self is selfing, and the taste of living truth is as ethereal as the wind. There is nothing to grasp or remember, no comforting replay. Amidst the confusion, the chaos and noise, only this is clear. Grace has me in its warm embrace, and grace is leading me home.
The Placeless Place. It seems when I was little, before I learned to think, the world appeared, then vanished, every time I'd blink. I had no thoughts to speak of yet, nor knew that I had eyes. And every time it happened was a wonderful surprise, like a game of peekaboo, with all there ever was, no rhyme or reason needed, all happening just because. When I got a few years older, some would call it smarter, I heard about a thing called words, which made my life much harder. What once was just one picture became 1,000 things, so much to remember for a tiny little being. This is this and that is that became the constant game that split apart the seamlessness and gave each shape a name. To make it even more a task, some things had more than one, 2 names, 3 names, sometimes 4. I nearly came undone. They touched my hand and called it hand, but also called it me. But I was there before those names. How could that even be? They said I was this body and that I had a face, which to me was way confusing, 'cause what I saw was space. I think I thought that it was weird till I got a little older, and I forgot I had no head they said was on my shoulders. Time became a real life thing of which I'd not enough, and the world got huge and I got scared, and life grew really rough. Thoughts turned into thinking, and thinking into stories about a me who wasn't free and tragically transitory. A separate self. Oh, woe is me. Life could not get bleaker. I knew there must be something else. So I became a seeker. I tried 100,000 things and spent a ton of money. I got a guru, met my guides. My friends thought that was funny. I watched videos on YouTube. I got an app to calm my mind. I sought and sought, but all for naught. I sought but did not find. And then one day, not long ago, I stood before the mirror and I noticed I was seeing in a way that things were clearer. My reflection showed a person with eyes and ears and hair, but she was looking back at me from an arm's length over there. I thought, how very strange. I cannot find my center. In place of my face, I see space where everything can enter. Wait a minute. Hold the phone. What is this I'm seeing? How can I be a person when all I find is being? I'm not inside a body. The body's inside me, along with sounds and shapes and colors. A magic tapestry. I am the world, and the world is me. It's all made of my essence. And if I try to find myself, all I find is presence. Stories fade and silence stays unchanging and unending, empty, full, and never dull, eternally extending. How funny to have built a self from thinking and sensation that seemed to feel so very real, but was only a creation. I'm everything I sense and hear. I'm everything I see. There's no more fright. It's all just light that played a game called me. I learned a lot whene'er I thought I was that little lie. Now I'm home as the great unknown in this placeless place.